your stage stop. Good evening, Thad.
Hi, good evening.
Listen, you're no stranger to Wyoming races and in the Rocky Mountain West and stuff. Tell us about your early experience with stage stop.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to be one of the first teams to compete in the 8 dog version of the truncated version of the stage stop. Gosh, I can't remember how many years ago it was now, 6 or 7 years ago. Um, did that the first 2 years actually. I raced that was offered. I raced in that, and it was a really nice introduction to stage racing and the pool format of racing, which is I had not done prior to that experience. Um, Definitely kind of whetted my appetite for the big race.
The big race, and you did very well in that too, right?
I did. I won the first year of the 8 dog, yeah, and I forget the second year, 5th place maybe. Yeah, I can't remember exactly how I
I
placed.
wasn't sure and I couldn't find it, so that's why I didn't. I figured
Yeah.
maybe you knew about that. Tell us about your other race experience.
I've kind of dabbled in a lot of different things as I started out doing a lot of 6 dog racing in the Northwest United States, 25 mile a day type 6 dog racing, and as I built my team, experimented with the 8 dog version of the Bear Grease, which is more of a continuous, format where you're running and camping. Uh, and then as I built my team, I've gotten kind of more into, I guess, longer sprint racing, and I've recently kind of dabbled in open sprints. I was fortunate enough to get to take my team to Alaska last year and race the Fur Rendezvous, which is been on my bucket list for a really long time. Um, Kind of dabbled with some races like Copper Dog, and I like to try lots of different things, and I probably never get super good at any of them because I don't stick with any of the formats long enough, but it sure is fun to just go do all these different races all over the North America. Also the 10 dog race circuit, all over the Northwest Territories of Canada has probably been one of my favorite experiences. I've done that, made that trip a couple different years. Then have some great memories driving the 100-mile winter road into Fort Chipewyan in northern Alberta and racing there with some just amazing people. And yeah, it's just all these experiences that stick with me, going all over the place with my dogs.
Yeah, well, so far you're pretty impressive here. I mean, you're running, in the top 10 already for your first year. So cross your fingers, hang on to that thought. We have
Yeah, there's two
two
more
more,
legs.
two more legs of serious racing to
Yeah, I
go.
know very well what's coming tomorrow. I've raced that
As,
leg twice. So yeah.
as you well know, I was going to say you've been on this Driggs leg before, although
Yeah.
it might be a little bit different than before, but you have a really good idea what it's about.
Mhm.
What style and type of dog do you like and why?
Uh, I guess style and type of dog. I really like dogs that I can have loose, that bond with a human. I guess most dogs are like that, but it seems to me that some are more likely to do it than others. I like to be able to turn my dogs loose and go on walks and throw a ball around. And so I guess first and foremost, like, there's not enough races, there are not enough days of racing in the season to make it fun for just the racing. So I guess I really like dogs that just fit our lifestyle. The other 300 and something days of the year that we're not racing, right? Because the dogs are doing things with us all year round. So we like to take our dogs to the beach and do all sorts of wacky things with them. So, definitely dogs that can do that. I guess I have, kind of houndy, like a lot of people nowadays, kind of crosses of hound and more Alaskan husky. And I really like that. It seems like they really like to please and are just happy to go. And that's, I like that kind of dog.
Mm-hmm. What type of breeding do you like in your kennel?
Well, I've kind of migrated over the years. I started out with dogs from Doug Swingley, and I really liked those dogs and did a lot of different things with them. Doug isn't in dogs anymore, and so I've kind of settled on streeper dogs. I have quite a few dogs that I really like from the streeper kennel, and I've also kind of crossed those into. I was really fortunate to add a couple dogs years ago to my kennel that my friend Ellen Donahue and Jeff King crossed back when they crossed Jeff's husky line with streeper lines. And the majority of my team now actually is a litter of 11 that I bred. My wife and I bred to we bred one of those dogs back to a streeper male, a really nice male. And I really like those dogs. They're pretty versatile. They're probably not the best for ultra sprint, but they seem to be really versatile and able to do a lot of different things, which fits what I'm kind of trying to do.
They have to be part of your family.
Yeah, indeed.
Exactly. Why did you choose Stay Stop this year?
To be honest, the main reason I chose it was with I had originally planned to go back to Alaska and race the Fur Rendezvous and then Open North American, and the Fur Rendezvous was canceled quite a while ago due to COVID concerns there in Anchorage, and it's also not clear even now if getting to Alaska, was going to be possible with border restrictions and stuff. So I'd always had it on my bucket list to do Stage Stop, but I picked it this year, frankly, because it's in the lower 48. It's not hard for me to get to, and it seemed like a sure thing. And kudos to the race organization for making it happen amidst all the challenges that are before us. Kind of felt like this is the year to do it, and I've always tried to adapt a bit to things that are out of my control, and as any of us have had to do. So that's kind of the main reason I signed up this year. I'd always planned to do it. Probably wouldn't have done it this year, except for I wanted to make sure I had a big race to go to.
Right. Yeah. Do you think changing the format had a big thing to do with that too for you personally?
Yeah, I was never gonna be. It was never gonna be within reach for me to do the race in its previous format with the 50+ mile legs and a 16 dog pool. It's just not. It doesn't fit my lifestyle to be able to train for that length of runs. So, the new format definitely put the race within reach for me.
Right. Right. How many dogs in training this year?
I started the season with 17 in training. 2 of those are 9 years old. And by the time I got to being on the road to come here, I left home with 14.
Very cool. What's your goals from here on out? Besides the next 2 days?
Yeah, get well, continue having fun and just racing the team I have in front of me, and not getting too caught up in what everybody else is doing. So finish this race, happy and steady, I hope. And then for the rest of this season, we'll race in Ashton here in a couple of weeks. And I'm not sure what else, if we'll race anymore. I'm kind of want to go home and try taking my dogs on a camping trip now that they're doing good at 30 miles. I've camped with sled dogs before, but not this current team. And I kind of like to do some stuff like that at home, on my trails at home. I think that'd be a fun thing to do once we're done racing.
Well, that sounds fantastic, Thad. You're a perfect example of how a small kennel can manage itself and do very well in different formats. I've always thought you've really, done very well in that, from the 6 dog to 8 dog. And I mean, just like you said, you tried a little of this, little of that, and you're always pretty competitive in each one of them. So my hat's off to you for that. So
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, it's fun to learn, all the different formats show you something, and I'm definitely finding lots in this format to learn. And that's what it's all about,
You're definitely a perfect addition to this Stage Stop race form. Is there anyone you want to thank before we go off at home?
Yeah, well, yeah, so many. First and foremost, my wife. I couldn't do this sport without all the support from her. As anybody in the sport knows, it's a big commitment, for the whole family, not just financially, but with time, and then time for me away from home. And so, I have to thank my wife. I also say I've had, like many mushers this year, some really challenging training conditions, and kind of came into the race pretty undertrained. And I'll freely admit that I was pretty close to withdrawing several times. And I got to thank friends like Alex Crittenden, who's, a friend of mine and racing here, and Liz Roberts, and even Warren Palfrey for talking me into sticking with it. Keep training, come to the race, and your dogs might surprise you. And I'll say they are definitely surprising me. So I definitely want to thank, all those people.
Well, great. Well, thanks for your time, Ted. Great race tomorrow, and we'll see you on the trail.
All right. Look forward to it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.